So we built this the TBI 48mm throat for a 253 Holden V8. So we'll dial it up on this red motor here, which is our test mill, and we'll get it out to the customer and see how it goes. But yeah, expect with a 48mm throat it'll work quite well. You can see if you get in there close and I can focus the spray bar, you can see the tiny jets along the length of that spray bar there, all the way to wide open throttle. And as you can see, as you open the slide throttle, those tiny 10th hour jets are exposed, more and more of them, in singular, double, multiple, triple, quadruple rows right at the end there where all the fuel's needed at wide open throttle. So yeah, there you go. And obviously the mixture is controlled or set by rotating the spray bar here, which you'd hook up a cable, or if in a car you might just set that in a fixed position once you tuned it. But in an aircraft we would be able to move that to lean for cruise or richen for takeoff. It could be beneficial on the track or on the street as well. You see the little holes there? See how they rotate? Beautiful way of controlling the mixture. Of course there's a diaphragm at the end there, that controls the amount of fuel flow, because there's a flow valve under that diaphragm, and the manifold pressure draws on that diaphragm and injects the fuel. And we run on regular fuel pumps, so we don't have the fuel pump hooked up on this Holden, but if we did, you'd just be able to run on the regular fuel pump. It's a low pressure system, so she's a beauty. We've sold quite a lot of them over the years for aircraft, and in recent times we've been selling a lot for automotive use, all because of this silly red motor we built. Anyway, let's fire it up, see how it goes. Now to tune this thing up, I'm just going to squirt some fuel into it via the spray bar, which I'll show you how that works. So I'll turn the fuel switch on. So I've got some fuel pressure now. I've got an electric pump on this thing, just a facet style pump, or a little electric pump, just low pressure, about 3 psi. And there's a button on the side here which you can press and make a lever from the cockpit or the cabin of the car, whatever. You'll see I'll just inject a little bit of fuel there. You see the spray bars there? When I press on this button, press on that button there, you'll see, here we go, press, here comes the fuel. Right, that's planned. Close the throttle so she doesn't run flat out, and let's fire it up. So the only adjustment on the TBI, apart from the main mixture control, which you can set in a fixed position or control as I set on the fly if you need to, and of course you've got the throttle control. The only other setting you've really got to do is that little Allen key right there. That sets the idle fuel mixture, and obviously you can see when you rotate it anti-clockwise it gets richer. When you wind the screw inwards it gets leaner. So you just set your nice smooth idle with by setting this little Allen key, little Allen screw on the side there. And of course you set the idle stop with this jack screw here, right there. So you can just adjust that stop to set your idle. Sets that idle gap there. So if I want to close that gap there, and get a slower idle, then I just simply undo that lock nut there and just pull the jack screw out and let the throttle close further. Of course, wide open throttle is always just wide open throttle. see you've got the mixture control there. And that's it, very simple to set up. Basically when I set these up, all I do is I set the idle speed, that gap there, and I get a nice smooth idle on the side here with this Allen screw. And that's it. That is really all I do. This is just, you know, you're adjusting this on the fly if you need to, but obviously if you're putting it into a car, you might make some sort of fixing rod or something and lock that into a certain position that could be adjusted. Or you could have a cable, choke cable in your cabin, and you could actually adjust that on the fly. You could read your AFR or air fuel ratio in the cabin while you were driving. If you had a turbocharged car, you could just slam it full rich for racing or for high performance work, and then when you're just cruising, you could lean it off and run it with less fuel flow. All right then, take it easy.